we're going to go to San Antonio, Texas, because this news dropped like a hammer. Victor Wembanyama is expected to miss the remainder of the season with deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder, the Spurs announced about 2 hours ago.
There's a bunch of things that come out of this that I think is a little bit more indicative of we should be like a little more nervous as a viewing public. Now, number one, whenever it's a big man over 7 foot in the NBA and you see a season-ending injury, the first thought is, I hope it's not a lower extremity. I hope it's not a foot. And it wasn't. So that was a bit of relief for me as somebody that wants to see Wemby grow and blossom into one of the future faces of the NBA. But when I hear things that are related to blood clots and I think about how Chris Bosh's injury or his career ended with the Miami Heat, and those are the kind of things, too. Those are the kind of medical cautionary things where it's not about can you play through it. It's about this might be more detrimental to your health and to your livelihood if you do. Now, I don't know all the details around this injury. It sounds super serious. I'm glad they're sitting him for the season. This means a bunch of things for the Spurs. Number one, instead of them fighting and clawing to get into the play-in, because they still had a chance to play their way into the play-in, they're now going to likely fall back into the lottery. And the heap of picks that they do have this year and the next few years just got a little stronger. They just traded for De'Aaron Fox. So the future of this franchise, with keeping Stephon Castle and whatnot, like, it is looking greater and greater. Wembanyama is expected to be good to go to start next year. And if you're a Spurs fan, I think the bright side is there's still something left to watch. There's still a show in town for you to enjoy outside of the freak, outside of the alien that's 7'5", because with Fox and Castle there and with their growing roles, and De'Aaron Fox is one of the 20 best players in this league, maybe even top 15, depending on who you ask. He's a thrilling guy to watch. They won't be suffering in silence here. But yeah, see, Wemby out for the season, and when I heard it, I blushed. I thought it was a lie. I thought it was a joke.
I know.
It just was an all-star weekend, like dunking all over the place.
I was going to say, his lasting memory for the 2024-2025 season was getting disqualified in the NBA Skills Challenge with Chris Paul.
Here's his averages this year, by the way. 24 points, 11 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and he leads the league right now with 3.8 blocks per game. Here's the last thing I'll say, too, a very critical issue here, especially for people that might have played some money in some sports books. He's only played 46 games this year. Remember, the NBA a couple of years ago put the new rule in order to be eligible for end-of-season awards, you have to hit a certain threshold of games played. I believe it's somewhere around 60. He's only played 46 games. That means he's not going to hit that number, which means this guy was an overwhelming favorite. Not even overwhelming. He was like minus 1,000 and even greater than that to win Defensive Player of the Year this year. If somebody like a day or two ago put some plus money on one of those other guys that are in the mix, you are feeling extremely good today. And I feel bad for anybody that parlayed in a Wembanyama Defensive Player of the Year award because he's only losing it because of the injury. He had this thing locked up.
I hope it'd be a good idea for sports books across the country to maybe void that. That's tough. That's really tough.
But they won't. You know they won't void it. It's not going to get voided. It feels like one of those things you would want to be voided, especially if it's in a major parlay, because that was one of the locks. Out of all of the end-of-season awards in the preseason, because I remember looking at them for the NBA, Wembanyama, I think he started at like minus 750 or minus 800. Like, it was a foregone conclusion he would be that guy, and injury was the only thing that could take him out. And it did. So we'll see where that goes. Good luck to the Spurs, but Spurs fans, at least you got Fox and Castle.
Next stop,
we're going to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The NBA has suspended Bucks forward Bobby Portis for 25 games for violating the league's anti-drug policy. The league announced today, but the story is pretty crazy. Portis tested positive for the drug tramadol, a medication used to treat severe pain among adults.
Dang.
It is an instance that his agent said was an accident. It was a mix-up on what medicine was given to Bobby Portis, is apparently the story being told by the agent.
Okay. I never know which side to actually believe in these early stages of stories like this, because it's the job of the agent to make Bobby Portis look good. So even if Bobby Portis was lying, even if he did take this stuff on purpose, his agent is going to say it was a mix-up or an accident or whatever. They're never going to take credit for it. And if you're the NBA, that's the reason why you have to probably look through that with a skeptical lens and suspend him and consider maybe dialing it back later. Are there any evidence pieces brought forward why he might be innocent?
So here are the two medications that were supposedly mixed up. And as a certifiable dumb guy, as I claim to be, and as evidence has been on these airwaves for a couple of years,
you're good.
I could see making this mistake, even though it is my explicit job as a doctor or a physician to not make the mistake. The substance that was supposed to be taken by Portis and given to Portis was called Toradol, not a banned substance. Wow. The medication he actually did take was called Tramadol.
And what's Toradol for is the other part of the question. It does seem like it's a misstep.
A pain medication.
So they're both pain medications. One likely stronger than the other. One likely maybe a step up from the other, which is likely the one that would get you suspended for 25 games.
That's what happened to Bobby Portis.
All right.
Is this a bigger mistake than the doctor who, punctured the lung of Tyrod Taylor for the Chargers, which had him out for many, many weeks?
I'm telling you, I still don't think it was a mistake.
You think they wanted Justin Herbert in the game?
No. Both of those weren't mistakes. I don't think that they punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung on accident, and I don't think that it's still a mistake that the prescriptions got mixed up.
Oh.
Yeah.
You think they wanted Bobby Portis off the court?
No, maybe... No. Nobody. First of all, if you want Bobby Portis off the court, you just tip the game off. And the coach going to do that anyways. Like this guy's just wrecking shop on the league. I think still there's reasonable doubt as to where if maybe Bobby Portis did get a hike up in the prescription. And they had this reasonable doubt excuse in their back pocket. I'm not casting any aspersions, not making any accusations. All I'm saying is there's still room for both to be true, so that's why the NBA levies out the suspension. And knowing Adam Silver, as friendly and nice as he is, I'm sure that article alone is going to make him rescind the whole thing. Bobby going to be playing next week.
Mistakes happen, Bobby.
25 games at 25 minutes.
Stop.
Our next stop on the Get Around, where we go to location to location, giving you headline by headline. We're actually going to go right to our backyard.
Oh, that's nice.
We're going to Coral Gables, Florida, because Miami's newest power couple, Carson Beck, Haley, I think, Cavender.
Yeah.
3 cars have been stolen from their South Florida residence.
No way.
A heist was taken for South Florida's newest power couple in the U.
Here's the thing. To steal 3 cars, you kind of almost need 3 people or a really big truck, right? Like, you're not just stealing 3 cars in the middle of the night by yourself without some major facilities. I don't know, man. This one reeks. This one reeks to me as well.
Hannah Cavender, my bad.
Hannah, I'm sorry. Haley's her sister, right?
They're twins, so odds are. The report from Andy Slater, a couple of expensive vehicles. We got some Mercedes, Lamborghinis, remain missing. They're still looking for these 3 vehicles that have been stolen from Carson Beck and Hannah Cavender.
All right, first off, stealing is whack. Stealing is whack. Y'all stop stealing, stop killing, stop being bad. So whoever did it, you're wrong. Don't do it again. Put it back. Actually, drive those cars back to Carson Beck. He needs them. He needs them if he's going to be driving the Hurricanes down the field in the ACC next year and delivering us something that maybe, even if he give me 80% of what Cam Ward gave us, I'd be a happy camper. So just drive those cars back. All is forgiven. We should do it just like what they do in elementary school, where when something goes missing in the classroom, the teacher's like, I'm going to turn my back, and if it magically appears on my desk, nobody gets in trouble.
Have you ever seen that work?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
If I was one of those elementary school students and I did steal it, no chance I'm trusting everyone else in that classroom to have my back and not tip off.
So there's multiple ways to do it. I remember these things vividly because it was high-stake times. I remember one time in elementary school when it happened, and the teacher just said she made us all leave out of the classroom, and then she let us come in one by one and go to our seats.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, if we were smart enough, we would have realized, we would have asked around, like, hey, who saw the phone first or whatever? Like, oh, did you see it first? And okay, so it must have been the person before you, and we would have figured it out. But it actually ended up working out, and the phone was returned. And I think with it being as high stakes as an actual a phone, or was it a wallet at that time? I can't remember. I've seen it happen a bunch of times, but with it being that high stakes, it had to be recovered. So it was nothing else we could do there.
The biggest mystery in my school was someone pouring macaroni salad in the urinal in like the third floor bathroom.